mistletoe, you and me. Underneath the mistletoe, under the mistletoe.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, time here in SVG, it is 8:42. And we are back with you for another commentary segment on our Activated Mornings program. Remember the number to get interactive with us? I'm hearing Ghana again. Hold a second.
457-9997.
All right.
And you can get us on WhatsApp. You can also get us on the landline. So you can get us either way, all right? Remember, we are live on Facebook and YouTube as well if you wish to go there and see our lovely faces.
All right. So we are heading on into another topic for this morning's segment. All right. What do we have, Dianna?
Well, in today's news, let me be serious. All right. So sex workers in Belgium have now been afforded some employment rights. Yes, my dear people. And what are those rights? So the sex workers in Belgium, they have now they are now entitled to formal employment. Hold on. Sorry. So they now have every kind of social protection granted that other employees, like people in announcer, teacher, some of the same rights that they have. The sex workers have now, they now have those same rights. They also have the right to refuse to provide services to a client or to perform any specific sexual act and to stop any activity at any time. So that is what is happening over there in Europe with those workers. And I guess now you may want to, you may wonder, will it transfer to other countries? And I believe it will. Things like these, normally when one person or when it happens one place, because you have these people everywhere, I feel like it will happen. We'll see some other countries and other places saying, okay, you know what? Let's do the same thing. Or what would happen, the sex workers in other countries now, they will say, oh, okay, so Belgium doing it, and they may come out with an association and they get their lawyer, and now they start advocating for their rights.
All right.
Their rights to this.
All right.
Hi, good morning. Talk to us.
Yes, man. I love that because Roleza, I give her that responsibility was to deal. She promised she would deal with that. I mentioned that already.
Yeah, you did. So that's why we're dealing with it this morning. Yes.
Where Belgium has become the first country in the world, not to discriminate against prostitutes, hoes, whatever we want to call them.
Let's use the radio-friendly word, please, Dave. Prostitutes.
Huh?
Let's use the radio-friendly word now.
Radio-friendly?
Word, yes.
I didn't know radio-friendly words like that. That's established how much, that's how much times older than me all, Anyhow, the subject that you're on, it made me think. You see, and that's why, I said critical thinkers are important for the development of our country. I repeat, critical thinkers are important, for us to have a better country. Anyhow, so where these people are concerned, it caused me to think as to why they became sex workers and all of that. It's real people you're dealing with,
To make money.
Real people. And I'm just using my critical thinking here to spread the word or to make people aware of what is happening. We have had Vincentian women who have gone out there and do some horrible things too. specifically to the topic we're dealing with. But nobody wants to hear that because we have the intention. I don't want to hear anything
why you consider it to be horrible?
Well, I just okay. Give me a better word.
No, I want you to tell me. You may want to substitute it with terrible. Anything that would any synonym for horrible. Why do you consider it to be that way?
Yeah, because I mean, I know how the society operates, functions, and all of that. You know. Hello.
I hear you.
Right. So come on, interact with me. I love when people, not anybody trying to, make some kind of what do you call it? Some of us are good at trying to hide our
sarcastic.
What we really want to say. Yeah. Yeah. So I am happy. I am happy for them. Because what if there's a saying too that as I use the word prostitution, that is as old as the Bible, right? And if those of us who read our Bible would know many of those stories that are revealed in the Bible, right? Somebody was stoned to death or something like that. That was the punishment in times gone.
Yeah, they wanted
That's
to
why I
stone a
love
woman.
this. Yeah, and you wouldn't want that woman to be you, right? Either you know Roleza. That's how I like to get you guys involved and make you wiser, make you smarter.
How what you want us to tell you? In what field do you want to be made smarter? Do you want to become smarter?
In the same thing we're dealing with in sex workers and all of that.
But what do you want to know about it, Dave? Tell us. What do you want to know?
Anyhow, the good thing about it, I am a retiree now, so I can. The time that I'm a retiree, so I'm not indulging in all these things like maybe at one time. So now but it all helps. It all. Okay. Suppose I ask, or maybe you could ask for someone who, a woman in particular, because you're dealing with women for sex purposes, right? Do you think you could get a essential woman, even though she might be guilty of this, to come forward and say something or participate in this kind of conversation?
Yeah, I believe you may. If we are having serious conversations where they're deciding now that they want the same thing in SVG, I do believe that you will have persons who will speak up. If they want something, they'll definitely come and speak up for it.
Well, I'm glad. I'm happy how you answered me with that. I am happy how you answered me with that. But sometimes some of us think we're such an innocent society. Yeah? Some of us think that we're such an innocent society that we don't, we won't do such things. But like I said before, I have known or heard of consensual women who have gone out there and got themselves into the same, however you want to look at it. And they say nobody talk or something like that. So let us not try to be holier than thou or try to pretend that we are so this and we are so that, and you are very much involved in all this going on and so on. And I'm happy, like when I said just now, I am happy when I speak. I can get reaction to what I have to say. But you have to know what, who is reacting and how they are reacting to what you have to say. And I love that because it helps me to know who my people are or who my friends are and all of that. I just want to send that message out there. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Roberts.
All right. All right. So I am looking at it as a serious conversation, right? Not that I'm saying that the interaction wasn't. What it is that I have to look at is the fact that we have to acknowledge, as Dave is correctly saying, that sex workers do exist, right? Prostitution is termed as the oldest profession in the world. And is it a case where for too many years, in countries where prostitution does happen, And in this case, these are persons who have pimps, or these are persons who have females, well, I guess in males as well too, who work for them, right? Because they now enter into a contract with a quote unquote a pimp. Is it a case where in those countries where it happens, that their workers should actually have some protection? And I am in agreement with it that they should have some protection.
Yes.
Now it's going to go into a whole different topic of why do women engage in prostitution? Women would have to know. Hi, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry to hear they think that Vincent Truman just go outside and do these things. But I think I've heard that there was once a plane stopped because the women that was on that plane was coming here for the same kind of activities. So, I mean, this thing is a transitional thing. People go and move around. So, St. Vincent, I think people just look at St. Vincent like it's not a part of the world. And they don't indulge in things that the world is a part of. And in truth and fact, there was a lady who lived that life. She came out of it and went to school and passed and all kind of things. She had a big right up in the South Side. She wasn't afraid to say that she did travel and do it and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. She did. So it's not like a secret thing. People, it's like we call it open secret. People know, but nobody talks about it. It's not your business for people to tell you. You want to come and do all this? Oh, no, I went to Europe and this is what I did. What do you want? She still said that for? If she went there as an accountant, she ain't coming back as she went there as an accountant. So why people need to know what she went out to do or what he went to do. And I agree with it because, as he said, it's one of the oldest walking in well, I don't go in the Bible too much, but fit in the Bible. So if it's that old, that means older than an engineer, older than this, it's older than that. So, I mean, if you don't put some respect in it, because trust me, you're not going to start that kind of activities. Trust me, not in this world. So I think I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it as safe as possible for women and them.
Correct. That's it. Women, that's exactly it.
Those women go through a lot of stuff. Because men who can't do certain things at home, they go and pick and they want to do that with the woman in the outside. And because they pass some money, they think they have the right to do what they feel like and how they feel like and all that kind of stuff. So let's get to the real seriousness. It's the safety of the woman. That's probably what they do that for. I'm not, but I'm of the opinion that it's the safety of the woman that they're thinking about. That's why they are the man too. Because let me put it, they think just woman alone doing it. Man too. So I think it's safety. Just like any other, job you go on, they say you can't climb the ladder without a harness. You can't do this, you can't do that. It's the same thing they're trying to do. Protect the woman.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my point.
Agreed. All right. Thanks, Kojo. And that's exactly what it is that I was going to get to, because the fact is we can't turn a blind eye and act as if prostitution doesn't exist, right? Especially those in situations where they actually have a pimp or somebody in control of an employer, right? You have to look out for the protection of these women. Yeah. Many of these women find themselves in human trafficking situations, right? Many of them are abused and exploited. So let's say, and the whole thing is that with the world, there are times when, again, many of our laws stemmed from Christian beliefs. And there are many times when persons want to act as if, as Coach was saying, that things don't exist within the world, right? Things don't happen. Is it a case where we were supposed to just sweep this under the rug and act as if prostitution doesn't exist, as if women don't sell their bodies, but then turn a blind eye towards a woman who is actually being abused in a situation like this, right? One of the other things too is that, yes, we can go further back and try to understand why it is some women engage in this activity. But there are some women who voluntarily do it because of the fact that it pays more, right? There are some of them who would say that, okay, they're only going to have to work for maybe a few hours within the day, and they are they're going to work for just a few hours in the day, and what it is that they're going to get as a result of that encounter or those encounters, they're not going to make the same amount of money that they're going to make if they have to work an entire month. All right. So, I mean, while it is that I am not saying that I am in agreement with a woman selling her body, the point is, if there are women who are going to be doing it, for me, they should have some protection.
Yeah, just to note that it also says that the employers of the sex workers, they have to get a license from the government, and they will only be given a license if they don't have any previous convictions for rape or human trafficking. It also says that they must provide them with condoms, clean bed linen, and an emergency alarm button in their rooms, among other things. So yeah,
which means that they really are looking out for them. And is this necessarily going to be a case where we end up seeing more countries take on these sorts of laws to protect sex workers? I would like to hope yes, in that I do not want to see a woman who maybe thinks that this is her only way of maybe earning an income, that she is going to be abused and exploited, right? So if there are going to be laws put in place to protect them, because I can't act naive about what happens in the world. I can't act as if we're not aware of what does actually take place. If there are women who are going to choose to do it, it's going to make the profession safer for them.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Let me step away from the radio.
Okay.
Yes. When you talking about that this morning, that was something that's been a concern for quite some time. When through legislation, they made the legal age 15. The legal age, as I said, when it's age 15, it kind of dawned on me that with the unemployment situation and the promotion of tourism, that
this is the final call for Washington Flight 1627.
oh,
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
yes. That with us going heavily into tourism and the changing of the age of consent and the unemployment situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that we're heading. It's almost like we're going to be, sex tourism site, tourism, like sex with our young boys and girls, is going to be an attraction for tourists. And I don't know, it takes persons like us against the media is I didn't identify myself. I'm Carlisle, that would substitute multimedia. Right for the Vincentian, and also have a program on Nice Radio for the past 13 years. It concerns me because you might say that prostitution is their problem, but it can end up to be your problem as well. Diseases, we've seen the spread of COVID, and it's
Right
not.
now
Huh?
No, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Yes. It's not something that I would like to see for for St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be known as sex tourism destination, especially with 15-year-olds. And I think I said a mouthful.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
That's
All right. So for me, well, I've always advocated that the age of consent be raised to age 18. This is when you can take on adult responsibilities, etc. Right? So I am all for the age of consent being raised, but we have to know that this is because the line of conversation that I'm having is for persons who have consented to doing this, right? Not persons who are forced into doing it, but they have given their consent to participate in this. Now, I personally, of course, would not want to hear of SVG being termed as a sex haven, so for sex tourism. That's not what it is that I would like to have happen. And please to know that prostitution is illegal in SVG, all right? or let me fine tune it. Being a pimp is illegal in SVG. I won't go further, but being a pimp is illegal, and operating a business place or a house or apartment or whatever, operating it for sex is illegal, right? And I'll leave it just there for that point. We have Doc here, so Doc, you could come in.
I certainly want to apologize and so for my late. I'm like an hour behind.
Flight 1620.
That's your final boarding call.
You hear it in the background. I tried muting it to get out, but I'm right in the terminal and so forth. So I'm trying to avoid all those announcements getting out. Clearly, this is not for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. If Belgium is the first country in Europe to do this, well, I tell you, so be it. But I don't know of any other country in the Caribbean, and St. Vincent certainly should not be the first in the Caribbean or the second in any way. There are a host of problems with it. I think you mentioned most of them already in terms of the induction. It's not about rights or consent or anything like that. The consent in Belgium is the consent essentially to become tested and to keep certain things, to have condoms on you and all that kind of things, a whole set of things in the article. Clearly, I know how these things are violated. As somebody mentioned it in terms of underage persons, in terms of males, boys, and so forth. And you may say somebody consents and is not induced and so forth. But in other places, the prostitutes are actually consenting to it. They're not necessarily being forced. Some of them self-manage themselves. But the point is that this is not something that we want to encourage. And I think there'll be a big outcry, from certain sectors of the community if this were to ever be imposed in any island in the Caribbean. Even though we know that it does take place, it can't be legal and so forth. That's my view.
Okay. All right. So we are going to end this particular segment at this time. And if anybody else has any other thoughts or things that they wish to share, we can take it back up at 9:20 in our Talk to Us segment. All right. But that has been our talk segment for this particular segment. Sex workers in Belgium now have employment rights. Is this a step in the right direction? And the time here in SVG, it's